update that. Honestly, I don't know why I'm starting this at 4:19 p.m. because it's not like I'm gonna get very far. But it's fine. It is fine. Bye, Shadow. Have a good one.
Got it. I'll be right there. They want me to stop by the Ares. The technicians want to pick my brain.
If there's anything I can help you with, just give me a shout.
Thanks, Lynn.
Oh my god, I've got like a tickle in my nose and I'm tempted to just blow my nose. I don't know why I'm like anti-blowing my nose right now.
Can't believe how much you got up and running. I know I was MIA for a good long while.
Oh, that's right, we met him.
You've had years. Honestly, I'm impressed.
I forgot.
It's growing on me, this NLA.
He's
good.
He's
Mind letting go of that
kinda
grudge already, Princess?
princess.
I don't know what you're talking about. What exactly is there for me to hold a grudge over?
Well, since I left you alone for all this time, figured you were sour about it.
What is the lore?
Let's see. If only you'd stayed behind with me, I could have had it a whole lot easier than I did. Maybe it's obvious since you came to us from the Air Force, but your piloting skills were a cut above. Anyone could see your promotion would be just a matter of time. So when you left the team so soon after joining, I was happy for you.
Oh, Lynn crying.
So if there was one thing I'm sour about, it's that I made you take the Ares. I'm angry at myself for that. When we were leaving Earth, I prioritized directing my team. So when you took the Ares and dove into the heart of the enemy swarm, I couldn't do much to stop you. A mistake. I depended on your skills too much. And so they crowned you a hero, made you the Ares' sole pilot, and you kept on protecting us. Until the day of the battle that ended with us crashing down on Mira and you. Gone. How I regretted it. Forcing the Ares on you. The way that I drove you into taking up the hero's mantle. So much guilt.
You didn't do that.
A banana.
I went charging off on my own. I was like
I did.
a kid with a new toy. Oh, I should have known better. Nah, I'm no hero. I was just terrified. Scared that I'd lose my place in the world. Just like I lost my motherland when I was a kid.
Oh.
I needed the white whale intact. The Ares was just a means to that end.
A means, huh? You know, I'm the same as you then. I lost the planet where I was born, and came to Earth with the Ares, an unwilling companion.
Wait,
But I think
so he's not from Earth?
that's giving the thing far too little credit. The Ares wasn't just a tool. This Skell was always leading the way, guiding us where we're needed.
Needed. Here?
Yes. I'm glad you came back. Truly.
I like him. I like him a lot. I'm a fan.
Honestly, I'd be so much happier if I was helping to fix up the Ares. But they told me to get out of their way. They were all like, you just stick to your blade duties. How rude is that? Like, dude, I was even on the original Ares maintenance team.
He gave me good vibes when he leaned down while talking to Lynn. Right! Love that Elma is always ready, or Gormati with the cat ears. It implies something happened in Germany, like another war or something. Oh. Welcome back, Pidge. You made pancakes? Oh, that sounds so good. Where's Akechi? Did someone say something about delicious pancakes? Maybe something happened with Germany. Oh. Man, now I want some pancakes. I had chocolate waffles this morning. They're protein waffles. Can't wait for your Xenogears era. I'll be picking so many fights in chat. I feel like it's gonna be a journey for all of us. I feel like that's gonna be another one where I'm gonna everyone is going to need to give the mods lots of hugs and love. I'm a little worried, I'm not gonna lie. He's fine after all. Just the princess had me ready to stab. Yeah, it seems like Elma was okay with the nickname, but I mean, yeah, if like a random person called me princess, I'd be like, who the fuck are you? I have pancakes. Everyone can come over. Do they have choco chips in them? Ask if she... Listen, I saw that and I thought it was AI at first. Ask if she knew AI. Protest that she's the best mechanic in the universe.
Thanks for the vote of confidence. It's kind of you to say. You know, the first time I met Al, it was around the time I got assigned to Elma's team. You've seen what he's like. The others never really got his humor. So he was often all alone, like it or not. But I liked him. He was always kind to me.
Oh my goodness, how cute.
Maybe it's because he had a younger sister about the same age.
Oh no!
They got separated trying to flee their country. Seems it got pretty rough there. He hadn't seen her since then. Al always said that people need a place to belong. Not like a location or some specific address or whatever. It's more somewhere you'd keep coming back to. Somewhere people liked and trusted you. He used to talk about it a lot. I think the place his sister and family were, that's where he felt needed. But then it was taken from him.
Aww.
After that, he decided all of Earth needed him and took to the stars. The belief his family was alive and well somewhere down there, that's what made him decide Earth was worth giving anything to protect. After we lost Earth, the White Whale became Al's home.
So you see, Lynn, that's what makes you part of my big, fat, happy family.
That's how he put it to me once.
Okay.
Hearing that, I've never felt so happy in my whole life.
That was really well done. But of course, voice actor. Oh no! Why are we seeing this again? No! Get me out of here! No!
Now I can't do it anymore. I can't just blindly trust Al's kind words. Too much has happened. We've been through too much since then.
Tell her she needs to give herself time. Tell her just go with her gut.
You're right. I might have been getting a little too up in my own head there. It'll take time to sort this out. Thanks for letting me ramble. I appreciate it. I feel better getting that off my chest.
I just want to escape the horse, but they're catching up to me. I think Lynn could have a future in voice acting. Want to see me flex?
Roger. It seems Al's done with his checkup now. Time to move.
I know, getting adopted by everyone. She is baby though. She's just a little baby. Cinnamon, okay, but cinnamon pancakes sounds delicious too. Bum, bum, bum. Man, I'm getting that weird sinus headache again. Like it went away for a little bit, unless I was just ignoring it, and now it's like back. So now I am definitely gonna have to take a Tylenol in a little bit. Something about Tatsu asking if God was real. That was just, that was honestly, that took me the fuck out. I'm like, this is too much. This has become too much. So God is real? Or whatever he said.
Boy, oh boy. Really put me through the ringer.
Yeah, well, if you weren't organic, it would have been a lot easier for us, too.
Ask if he meant... You know...
Bingo.
Oh.
Al's no mim, just good old rolling bones.
You thought all crew members were supposed to be mims, didn't you?
I guess that makes sense.
Al here might just be the chosen one.
The Ares Prime needs a warm body to run.
Guys, does this matter right now?
You're right, but first, it's good to have you back, Al. The hero returns, and with him, our hearts are all uplifted.
Do me a favor and nix the hero thing. It's weird being put on a pedestal. Anyway, can I get a recap? I've missed a lot of Scuttlebutt.
Scuttlebutt.
I'm like a lost time traveler here.
Certainly. Let me give you the bullet points.
Okay, wow. You guys sure had a rough time while I was away.
All right, then. Now I'd like to ask you some questions. Al, where were you up until now?
To explain that part, I'll need the results of my skills analysis. You'll never believe me unless I give you something to back it up.
What are you trying to say?
We've detected a giant energy surge in the vicinity of Sylvalum.
A DMAT event?
No. It's not a pattern we've observed before, sir.
Just one thing after the next here. Put it on screen.
This is weird, but there's something about Al's eyebrows that I really like. Like, I don't know if it's just like the shape or what, but I really like his eyebrows. Oh. Okay. Not the Void Ussie. Literally the Void.
My shoulders will gather on the splat. Heed my voice.
There are some wild people on this ship thanks to money. The bullet points Lau was always right. Hey, yo, welcome in. Fun fact, during the early development of this game, Al was supposed to be the pro tag before Iwata said he wanted online features. Yeah, I remember someone telling me that, actually. Is Anime Night still tonight? Yes.
What is that ginormous
Forgot
thing?
it was Thursday again. Yes, Anime Night is still on tonight.
And then that
I should be fine to
voice.
watch.
Who's Void?
Void.
You know who that is, Elma?
A primordial entity.
Oh,
It
great.
was Void who created Ares Prime. And the Ganglion. Their Void spawn too. You could call him their progenitor.
Wait a sec. That's who Luxar meant?
Oh. They're answering that question. Okay.
Then the old tales have come to pass. Even the Vita. Even the Great One's own vessel bested by these primates. It's absolutely sickening.
Yes, that's Void.
Then he was the one who handed my ass to me?
And that's why he stole the Vita, I would hazard a guess.
But why? Does he want to rally the ganglion and get right back to the killing?
Just so.
How the hell did he hear me?
Oh.
I shall commence a contest in which survival is the prize. The best it will cease to be, as will this world. Indeed, I have borne witness to it innumerable times before. And I will be victor once more. I am he who brings worlds into concord.
What does he mean, Concord?
When he says he's seen this happen before. No. Then Elma's planet. And the Earth?
So this is all part of your grand plan, is it?
The best it must cease to be.
Way to throw down the gauntlet. How about you shut up and get out of my face?
Get him.
And give back Ares' soul!
New Van Ham sounds so off. He does sound a little off, yeah. But I mean, it's a new voice actor, right? So.
I don't recall being bested. In fact, as long as I'm standing, I don't plan on being beaten.
You wish to prolong your struggle.
You bet. Better say your prayers.
It is good.
I love how feisty he is.
Such is as life ought to be. A desperate effort to survive. Very well. We will meet at the world's end.
What is going on? I have to mention too, I love that these skulls look very, very familiar
Fight
to
for
me.
survival?
Very like
Again?
Ouroboros.
How much longer do we gotta keep fighting?
No. It's not so simple.
Huh?
Either way, whether we fight or not, this planet is on its way out.
Jeez.
Just like my homeworld before it.
What survival means, then, is getting the hell off this rock. That'll be our fight.
We'll have to leave Mira?
Al, please tell me you know of a way for us to do that.
Yeah. The key to leaving is the cores.
The ones the Vita took off with.
Without the cores, humanity... no. All life on this planet is going to die. How are we doing with the Ares? If we're on schedule, the shocking truth should be revealed any minute now.
I'll get an update.
From here on out, It's uncharted territory. Put your thinking caps on. We're headed for the hangar.
We're almost at the end. Yeah. We are teleporting.
Charmaine just resubscribed for
Charmaine!
21 months.
Thank you so much for 21 months. Charmaine, I appreciate you. All the beings living on this planet before we arrived. Bet this has something to do with those humans again. Right. We did just get here. We did just get here and we're already leaving. It's already time to fucking go. Where?
That's crazy.
I am so not. Who the hell is texting me right now? What is going on? It's me. It's me. TP to the hangar? I did, but it like put me somewhere else. It's fine. There's apparently something here. Apparently it was a side quest, okay. Wait, did I TP to the hangar? Actually, maybe I didn't TP to the hangar. I don't know. I don't know.
I have the technician's report. Here's what it says. The first major thing we discovered through analyzing the Ares is the following. The universe in which planet Mira exists, though it might be better to say dimension, is not the only one, as we have now detected several others outside of it. We're talking parallel dimensions.
This might be hard to wrap your heads around, but
Oh.
after the battle that ended with the White Whale crashing, me and the Ares were cast into a space between all those.
Oh no.
Navigational data from the Ares backs up the existence of the place he's talking about. What's more, our previous attempts to find the Lifehold core, and our studies of the floating landmass Volataris, which accompanied Void, have all led us to hypothesize such a possibility. The new data we got from the Ares has helped us tie this all together. It's led us to the truth of the matter.
When Void said that he brought worlds into Concord, this is what he was hinting at then?
Based on these findings, we have concluded that the universe that Earth belonged to, and the universe that we're in now with Mira, are in fact completely separate.
Oh my god.
Plus, we now know that the past universe, at the point of Earth's destruction, disappeared entirely.
Oh my god.
The whole universe?
Void's catchphrase, the best had ceased to be, this is what he meant. But then, what does this fact tell us?
Let your eyelids droop. Stop it.
A+. Yes, humanity still endures on Mira. So, we managed to escape the destruction of the Earth's universe and came to this one. We survived. Isn't that proof enough?
That day, the destruction of the universe caused a massive energy displacement. And that's what allowed us to escape to Mira? By luck bordering on the miraculous?
Did he just connect the games
It's just
again?
back of the envelope logic based off of old records, but that sounds about right.
So then, if we could produce an amount of energy roughly equal in magnitude, then hypothetically, it just may be possible to escape from this universe as it disappears.
Okay, but is that kind of thing physically
Girl, wait. I'm
achievable?
getting confused.
Oh,
That's right. That's where the Ares comes in. Rather, the cores that are the source of its power.
So that's why Void made a beeline straight for it.
Our battle had already begun. We just didn't know it. And hence, that slimy bastard drew the first punch.
Nice. We'll need a strategy if we're gonna pull through. I mean yesterday.
Quite. I'll reach out to Maurice at once.
Thanks. And we won't be able to make it without help from all the other races. Everyone, your orders. Until we have a strategy in place, attend to your usual duties.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Al, seeing as you're unemployed, I'm conscripting you. Go lend your buddies a hand.
Sounds more like being press ganged.
Call it what you like. You gotta earn your keep.
Fine, you win.
Oh my god, please, let me play Barbies with him. Yes! I'm so excited. I just saw his earrings, right? I've been kind of confused with chapter 13 so far, but I shall yeah, like I do feel like there's some things to me that are a little confusing, but I feel like Takahashi is maybe attempting to connect the games there because of the whole universe thing. Look, bud, I love the Ares dearly, but it's a temperamental beast. For one, all its plating is custom made, so it can't equip other armor weapons, and as you're aware, nobody can pilot but me. Still, if you can work around that, he'll pull his weight and then some. Feel him dressing up like Al to celebrate the hero's return. Someone so you can buy his outfits in shop now. That's so funny. Hi.
Okay, so here's another stupid story at Champion. So basically, but we didn't have a teacher for a long time, so I was just sitting out here, and there was this big rock. So I tried to break it in half, so I threw it, and then first graders came over, and they were like, "Oh, look at this rock! Yo, can I pick it up?" And I was like, "Sure, dude."
Oh, don't put it. I'll put it close.
See, I didn't do it. It's just
Don't-
I didn't do it.
Okay, well, come on.
Okay, we'll talk about it later. Okay, we'll talk about it later.
And then this first grader grabbed the rock and he threw it up in the air. And the rock.
We will talk about it later.
Yes, come on, baby.
On
We will talk about it.
Rowan.
Yeah.
Escort.
You too.
Come on.
What'd I do?
Nothing, but
I
wait.
just got here. I just got here. I can't even say hi.
No children allowed. Out.
Oh. Are you playing like... Are you playing like Adult Game 69?
No, apparently my son got in trouble at after school because he threw a rock and broke somebody's lunchbox. So I'm like, okay, we'll talk about this later. Effigy showed me a little paper that like parents get when the children do something that's bad. So now I'm like, what? And then he came in here trying to, I should have played the Danganronpa music when he started explaining himself because it sounded like me explaining why my situation with Kamari. Like he was on trial over here because he knew we were going to talk about it later. So, so yeah, we will figure it out later, but apparently it's not his fault. He's like, it's not my fault. I'm like, we will talk about it later. We will discuss it later. Oh my God, my children. Someone tried to break a rock in half. Yeah, it was apparently my son. I don't even know. The rock slipped. Fog out here, like, damn, this is some wild stuff. And I just finally found someone who I can socially interact with. Oh no. Yeah. The multiverse stuff is very interesting to me because I feel like he's trying to connect the games again, but we will see. But I do feel like it's kind of obvious to me that that's where this is going. No one confirm, no one deny, but the fact that we're bringing in the multiple universes again. Yeah, I forgot what I was doing. Back to the Blade Barracks. He was possessed by someone. Can't believe we gotta tell people they can't play this game anymore. Right, we gotta change it again. Help, we gotta change it again. Oh, this is Act 2. Okay, we'll start it. We've got just a little bit of time left, but the second Project Exodus. Oh my god. I gotta take it back now when I was telling everybody this is a standalone.
We got a basic plan drawn up. Meet me in command.
Roger. Let's move.
I think the load times are getting longer
Since
too.
Void turned up, we've been witnessing ganglion remnants stirring back to life all across Mira.
They're as vulnerable as us. What with the DMAT events and ghosts.
DMAT
Also,
events.
Objective that'll have
Oh my god.
Objective? Oh, Void's floating continent.
Volataris is a special place. Those who heard Void's call have begun some holy pilgrimage there, for the promise of a new world under their creator's leadership. They may be fragmented at best, and little more than a minor nuisance, but these recent events have granted them new purpose.
You'd think they'd want to regroup quietly. Instead, they're out there raising hell.
I'm glad they've kicked the blues, but throwing an all-you-can-loot and plunder buffet? That part I don't love.
Remember, they were a coalition. Their mission to eradicate Samar's descendants, including us. Tiger cannot so easily change its stripes.
The fight for survival, it never ends, huh?
We've come a long way indeed. This place, it is our second home. We've overcome the odds, made it a safe haven. DMAT events, ghosts, ganglion. We must remain firm against these ever-present threats. In addition, we must reclaim the cores Void stole. Prepare to leave for a new world. Bluntly, the only choice left for us now.
Are we really?
In other words, we're talking about a second Project Exodus.
Just when we've beaten that damn Luxar. We just can't seem to catch a break, can we?
No kidding. Just when I was starting to put down some roots here.
Aww. Say that you don't want to leave either. Say that it is what it is.
A truly gut-rending thought.
I do share your grief. However, we must face the facts. The dematerialization phenomenon is spreading, and eventually it will engulf the planet in its
That is
entirety.
wild, yeah.
This truth is unequivocal. And this time, it's not just humanity's future that's at stake. Our aim now is to evacuate all races that live on Mira.
Every single one?
Of course, all those that would be amenable to our proposal. Regrettably, any life forms we cannot communicate with will not be considered.
That's quite, how should we say, egoistic, no?
Protest that humanity cannot discriminate. Agree that's unavoidable. Jeez.
I understand how you feel. I didn't propose it lightly. But frankly, it's just not feasible to do otherwise. Some species are dangerous, some others simply too violent. With the time we have and the available personnel, finding a way to save them all is impossible.
Oh, we're doing this again, huh?
Okay, but even narrowing it down just to the sentient races, Will that work?
Good point. If our only choice is to build a lifeboat, making something big enough, it's gonna take some time.
We've agreed on a cooperative partnership with the Manon to obtain a ship.
We're going to use the Manon ship, the one over NLA.
Yeah, that one is
You
huge.
betcha. Eyeballing it, it should have the capacity enough to carry all evacuees. Of course, it'll need a fair bit of retrofitting. We'll need to incorporate the Ares jump drive and the Lifehold Core's protoplasmic fluid system. But if we work together, we should make it before the Reaper comes a knocking.
Why, that's feeding 3 cooks with 1 stove.
Right, so that part we've got tied up with a bow.
We've already contacted all known Xeno community. They should be apprised.
I love that Al just understood. He was like, yeah, exactly.
Sadly, some of them did respond they're planning to go down with the planet, but most are currently in the process of relocating to NLA.
Then we've got no time to lose.
Right.
As of now, all active Blade personnel are ordered to give this plan the highest degree of priority.
Broadly, we have 2 objectives. Helping to construct the escape vessel and supporting those who want to come to NLA. It's all hands on deck. We may require troops to take assignments across division lines. Be ready for anything.
Roger.
I was just saying anything. I love him. He's so silly. Our very own Noah's Ark. Thing is, what stops Void from doing it on the next planet we go to? Right.
We may get assigned stuff outside of our official divisions, right?
Right. First off, we should head back to the barracks. Make sure we're prepared for anything.
Okay.
But yeah, Noah and Mio were the ones, and the gang, they're the ones that stopped the, what do you call it? In Xenoblade 3. So I wonder if, like, this is coinciding with that again, like what happened with the first Xenoblade and Xenoblade 2. Like, I wonder if all of this is happening at the same time again. Wait, where the hell is this my scout? I don't even know what's happening. No, that's not mine. That's Al's. It's a good place to stop. Oh shit. Actually, that is a good idea. No, okay, good. We're not going to continue. Or, like, it doesn't force us to continue. Okay, yeah, we will stop here. This is a really good place to stop because it's almost 5. I shouldn't push it too much today, too, because I am still sick. So, I feel like this is great. And then maybe tomorrow we finish game? Maybe tomorrow we finish game.